Thank you everybody for coming. Many of you will remember 5 years ago we won this seat from Labour by 1,500. Our job at this election is to double that to 3,000. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you to the Prime Minister for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, David. And it's absolutely great to be here in Warrington. Great to be on a foot. I'm a Villa fan, so to be on a football pitch is even better. But look, you've got a fantastic Member of Parliament in David. People often say that what we politicians are meant to do, we're meant to build bridges. Well, this man has got the government to build 2 bridges. But I come today with an incredibly positive message for this election in just 17 days' time. And the first part of that is, of course, send David back to Parliament because he does a great job for Warrington. Send him back to Parliament as part of a team that is bringing about the economic transformation of our country. Now, I'm not arguing we've solved every problem in our country. Of course we haven't. But compared with when I became Prime Minister, we got 2 million more people in work. We created 1,000 jobs a day all the time we've been in office. That is more jobs than the rest of the European Union put together. Our economy last year grew faster than any other economy in the Western world. We cut the deficit in half. Now, these are all statistics. But behind those figures are stories about families who've now got a breadwinner earning money, putting food on the table. Families that can see a more secure future. So we've got a very strong track record. But we've also got a very positive message about our plan for the future. We want to turn this good news in our economy into a good life for more people in our country. That manifesto we published last week, packed full of plans to make sure we cut people's taxes so you have more of your own money to spend as you choose. We created 2 million jobs. Let's create another 2 million and have full employment in our country. Wouldn't that be a great thing to achieve? Let's make sure we build the homes for young people to buy and own, the starter homes that we have proposed, together with the Help to Buy scheme that's made such a big difference, including here in Warrington. And let's make sure when people have worked hard, when they've done the right thing, when they put in all their lives, they can have that dignity and security in retirement that should be the birthright of everyone in our country. So a positive record, a positive plan. But I also come here today with a big warning about how all of this could be undone. Because the truth is, and David knows this, 5 years in Parliament we've watched Ed Miliband oppose each and every step that we've taken to strengthen our country and strengthen our economy. Every single spending reduction, every welfare change, every encouragement to business, every tax reduction, every budget, everything has been opposed. But the threat in this election, frankly, has just got much greater. Because a fact has changed over the last few days that we've been running this campaign, and the fact is this: all the experts agree that Labour is going to be wiped out in Scotland by the Scottish National Party. Now that means something very important. It means that Ed Miliband can only get into Downing Street on the back of the support of SNP members of Parliament. Now, of course, they've ruled out a coalition, but what they refuse to rule out, and what they must rule out, is the idea of a Labour government being backed vote by vote, measure by measure, pledge by pledge by the Scottish National Party. Think about what that would mean. Just in the last 24 hours, we've heard the SNP say that unless Labour scrap Trident, they'll block every single bit of defence spending. What does that mean for aircraft and aerospace workers here in the northwest? What does it mean for the people building submarines at Barrow? Well, this would have a devastating effect. Do you know what they've said about HS2 and the important electrification of our railway lines? It would all, instead of on the plan we've all got to link our country together, everything would have to start in Scotland. So you're already seeing what I think would be a real threat to our country. And there are 3 threats I want you to understand and to make sure we get out and explain on the doorstep. Threat number 1 is that a Labour SNP link-up would put an end to the plan that is improving our economy and turning our country round. The only difference between these two parties is that the SNP think Labour should have even more spending, even more borrowing, even more debt, even more taxes than what they already propose. Threat number 2 is that because, as Nicola Sturgeon has put it, this would be an agreement measure by measure, vote by vote, with the SNP exerting their power, there would be an appalling hiatus, a paralysis at the heart of government. And do you know what? If government comes to a juddering halt, pretty soon the economy comes to a juddering halt. And when the economy comes to a juddering halt, that puts a halt on jobs, on investment, on business, on enterprise, on all the things we're beginning to see start up in our country. But the third thing is perhaps even more serious. Think of this constituency and think of the vital work that's being done, improving transport links, building those bridges, making sure people get a better deal, putting in place the new electrification of railways and all the rest of it, the free schools that David and I were visiting just recently. That investment would come to an end if for the first time you had a bunch of nationalists from one part of our country involved in the government of all of our country. Because the truth is this, England, Wales and Northern Ireland wouldn't get a look in. The SNP don't come down to Westminster to get a better deal for the United Kingdom. They come down to Westminster to break up the United Kingdom. So that is what we're fighting, my friends, an alliance between the people who want to bankrupt Britain, that is Labour, and the people who want to break up Britain, that is the SNP. But here is the message of hope, because there's only one group of people that can stop this from happening. You can't stop it by voting UKIP, that just puts a Labour MP in power. You can't stop it by voting Liberal Democrat, they can't stop anything right now. The only way you can stop it is by voting Conservative. Because if we can return David Mowat to Parliament and win 23 more seats, that's all we're short of from an overall majority, then we can continue with the plan that's working, keep turning our country around, make sure we get more jobs, cut people's taxes, build those homes, provide that childcare, offer more people a good life in our country. It's within our grasp. So please work hard here in Warrington. Get David back into Parliament. Help us win those extra 23 seats. We can fight for our economy, for jobs, but we can also fight for our country. That's what it's about. Give it everything you've got in the last 17 days. Thank you very much indeed.